Thanks everyone, Master Grogan here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. I gotta adjust the microphone just a little bit here. There we go. All right, all right. Well, happy Friday, everybody. It's our Feel Good Friday, and I know we've got a lot of folks joining us for the very first time here. We've been doing this. We've been doing a podcast for some time. I think this is gonna be episode number 294. So we got a lot going on with the podcast there, but we have been doing this live stream now for a couple shows, and it's working out really, really well. So our new listeners and new followers on the live stream here, it's live streaming to our Facebook pages, my personal page, Rich Grogan, our Grogan's Bullyproof and Kicking Life page and group, our YouTube channel, which is Grogan's Bullyproof, and we just started, it's live streaming now to our LinkedIn page. So that's kind of a whole new platform we've been playing around with. So, well, good stuff. If you're joining for the first time, thank you. If you're listening on the podcast, as always, thank you very much for that. Please continue to subscribe. If we've earned it, give us that 5-star review and then smack that bell. And that bell is a reminder to let you know anytime a new episode airs. And always, you jump on the live stream here, please say hi, jump in the chat box there, and I'll get that. Speaking of that, I guess I better get the chat box pulled up. There we go. All right, all right. So what are we talking about today on the Feel Good Friday? The Feel Good Friday today, and it's something I posted actually a picture of yesterday. And so follow on the Facebook channels if you're not there, and also Instagram, Grogan's Bullyproof. And it's you can't pour from an empty cup. So what does that mean? You can't pour from an empty cup. Well, the picture I put on there was actually a picture of a picture. Listen to me getting tongue-tied on Friday here. A picture of a pitcher, not a baseball pitcher, but a pitcher that you pour stuff from, right? And it shows, you can't pour from an empty cup. And what I mean by that is we often forget who the number one priority is. And I'm going to ask you, who's the number one priority in your life? Now, oftentimes we'll end up saying, well, my kids or my spouse or praising God, being a Christian. Yeah. Or if you're a mentor to others, your clients. And those are all great answers. But I'm going to hit you, bang, with a right hook of reality. And I'm going to hit you, and I'll get into a little story one of my mentors shared with me. And if you've probably heard this story before, but it's worth repeating. But here's the right hook of reality. Your number one priority is you, right there. Yeah, that good-looking person. One that looks like no other. That's a little thing I used to have the kids do at the Martial Arts Academy, even the adults. You'd look in the mirrors, because we had these big, beautiful mirrors at the Martial Arts Academy, and I'd say, look in the mirror. Look at that person that looks just like you. No. The cool kid that looks just like you. Yeah, you, right there. I want you to say, hey, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. You're awesome. You're the best. You're the greatest. Now, some may say, well, now, don't get egotistical and arrogant. And granted, we've got a lot of folks like that. However, we've got a heck of a lot more that have no belief in themselves. And they have an overinflated ego. And something I had in the past was an overinflated ego to make up for my own insecurities. Why? Wasn't taking care of me. And when I did take care of me, I thought it was selfish. And unfortunately, that's what a lot of people think. They think, hey, I got to put everybody else first because that's the right thing to do. No. You've got to make sure you're at your top of your game. You, like the thing says, you can't pour from an empty cup. I've got my hot tea here, and if I want to drink a hot tea, I got to put tea in the cup in order to get a drink of that tea. Just sitting here drinking out of a cup that has nothing in it, kind of senseless, right? Well, it's the same thing. The cup can't give me anything because there's nothing in it. And if you're not at your best, you can't give your best because you've got nothing to give. Does that make sense? Yeah. So how do you do that? Well, one thing you got to do is we've got to stop thinking that taking care of ourselves mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally is selfish. Actually, it's selfish not to take care of yourself. What do I mean by that? Well, back to the cup again. That's a great example. If you got nothing to give because you're exhausted, you're wore out, you're mentally depleted, you're spiritually depleted, you're physically, you can't give your best. There's an old saying, when you have your health, you've got thousands of goals. When you don't have your health, you've got one goal. And that one goal is getting healthy again, right? Yeah, we've all been sick. We've all been bedridden. We've all been down and out. And all you can think about is, gosh darn, please, God, help me get better. I promise. You help me get through this, I'll change. And sometimes we do it, sometimes we don't. We often forget that. I've talked about that on many, many other podcasts and many other shows. Is when you get your blessings, when you get what you prayed for, make sure you remember to go back and be thankful for what you prayed for. So the same thing here. When you take care of yourself and you're feeling great, you got something to give. Make sure you're giving it, helping out. Whether it be financially, whether it be just with your time. And by the way, finances. If you've got the finances, please. The charities I give to, and we give to all kinds, but the big top two we give to, and this is just us personally, is the Tim Tebow Foundation, the TTF, and St. Jude's Children's Miracle Network. Absolutely love them, and I've given to countless others, Wounded Warriors Projects, and Towers. Anyway, a lot with soldiers and vets, things of that nature. Because Dad's a Vietnam vet, and I know what he's gone through his entire life, and so many others. And then I've had several friends actually in the military and then armed forces serve overseas, and some made it back and some didn't. But you give to what you want. My whole point on that is, if you got the finances, give, because it's just a great thing. It makes you feel better. But what's better than giving finances is giving time, right? Because you can never get that time back. But make sure, back to the whole theme of this whole Feel Good Friday, forgot what we're talking about here, is got to take care of yourself, man. You can't pour from an empty cup. So here's a little lesson that one of my mentors shared with me, and I'm going to share with you. And I actually talked about it yesterday on the live stream, which we do the Thursday live stream with a special spotlight featured guest live stream. And then that airs on the following Monday on the podcast. And the podcast is Grogan's Bully Proof. So if you're listening on the podcast, thank you. Make sure you've subscribed. And like I said, give us that 5-star review if we've earned it. And if you want to see what I look like and kind of interact and throw something in the chat box here, jump on when we do these live streams on social media. Like I mentioned, YouTube and now LinkedIn and Facebook. But what my mentor hammered me with was I was kind of, as I always do, go at it like a maniac and oftentimes not take care of myself first. And that's the biggest reason why I'm talking about this. And everything I talk about on the show, the live streams, the podcast, the video blogs, the speeches, my books, everything is pretty much the lessons that I've learned by doing everything wrong, or the lessons I've learned from what I call self-bullying, bullying myself. And bullying yourself is just essentially not respecting yourself enough to be your very best, or doing what it takes to be your very best. Now, I've always pushed. It's never been a lack of effort or the right positive, inspirational, motivational drive attitude, but it's often been a lack of shutting down, getting the rest I need, going to the gym as consistently as I need to, meditating as consistently as I need to, eating properly. And I usually eat good foods, but I bully myself by not eating often enough, skipping meals and, getting involved in work and writing books and doing other stuff with kids, which is great. But once again, if I'm not at my best, I cannot serve and be my best. So anyway, the message my mentor gave to me, and it couldn't have been at a better time. And that's why I hire the mentors I do and pay them what I do, because they tell me the things that I probably don't want to hear, but need to hear. So if you've got somebody, and hopefully I can help you with that, telling you things you don't want to hear, you're probably not comfortable hearing, but gosh darn it, you need to hear it. It's kind of for your own, well, as parents, you say, it's for your own good, Richie, it's for your own good. How is it for my own good? Doesn't make me feel good. Well, the end all message is going to make you feel better because you're going to learn something from it. But anyway, message was that, like I said, it came at tongue tied here. I guess at the time, it was the most inopportune time, but it was very opportunistic of him to say it at this time. And that was, we have a call, and he says, Rich, I got to ask you something. So yeah, he goes, do you enjoy disrespecting everybody you're meant to help, and everybody you're meant to serve, and those that you mentor? Do you enjoy disrespecting them, your students, the parents, the people that watch your live streams and listen to your video blogs and podcasts? And I'm like, did you say, do I enjoy disrespecting people? He goes, yeah, do you? I'm like, oh, come on, man. How can you even ask that? Now, once again, it was a night that I probably only had 2 or 3 hours of sleep. I was up all night working on who knows how many different projects. And of course, when you're tired, you're irritable and you don't think properly. And then, of course, you make countless mistakes and all those things that happen when you don't take care of yourself. So I said, man, I don't know what you're talking about. I only got like 2 hours of sleep last night. I probably haven't slept 10 hours in the past 3 days. I've been working on this and taking care of this and helping these out. And then I've got problems. I got to deal with some parents at the studio and then some kids and then my own kids. I'm trying to spend time with them. And I rattled it all off. The pity party rich here. And he says, well, that's kind of my point. I'm like, what do you mean it's kind of your point? He goes, so how about this? Tell me, when's the last time you had more than 4 hours of sleep? When's the last time you actually meditated on a consistent basis? When's the last time you went to the gym consistently and worked out for you and not training somebody else? When's the last time you ate at least 3 meals a day consistently, the right foods? And I'm like, he goes, when's the last time you just did something for yourself? And I'm like, well, I ain't got time for that, man. I got to do this, 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 this. And of course, me being as stubborn as I am, and not necessarily liking to fight, but getting back to a corner, and I kind of felt like that's what it was because I wasn't thinking clearly because I hadn't slept very well in the past who knows how long. And he goes, that's my point, man. He goes, if you're not at your best, you can't serve at your best. He says, and I know you give everything you got. And that was another thing I'm like, man, I give everything I've got, every ounce of energy I've got. He goes, I'm not going to ever debate that. You got more energy than anybody ever met. He says, but here's my point. Yes, you're giving 100% of what you got. But if you've only got 50%, or in your case, 20% in the tank to give, even if you're giving 100% of that, you're only giving 20%. So you're cheating people out of 80%. And I'm like, and then of course he gave the example of can't pour from an empty cup. That's why it resonates so strongly with me. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And of course, then I'm like, what do you do? Well, I didn't want to hear it. That's by all means. But Quality Mentor is going to find a way to get that message to you in a way that you need to hear, but you probably don't want to hear. And obviously, that's what I try and do here with these video blogs, podcasts. And, these are free. The thousands of dollars that I pay the mentors, I pay them for that. But then I want to openly share these messages with you. And then I'll put them in books, put them in speeches, and then, hire clients, and I'll be their coach and mentor and kind of take that next step. But that's the gift. I'm giving back, and I want you to hopefully get something from this and potentially give back to somebody else. Or if anything else, give back to yourself and have that shutdown time. Have that me time. It's not selfish. It's actually selfish not to do it because you got to take care of yourself. Wow. How's that? So what did I do about that? Well, after I picked myself up after that right hook of reality he gave me, I said, okay, so what do I need to do? He goes, well, you need to, number one, schedule a massage. I'm like, that sounds like that sounds good to me. He goes, and then start getting regular sleep, going to bed at a regular time, and then start putting breaks in your day where you get off the computer, get off the devices, get off of whatever you're working on, and actually shut down, and then you'll be your best. Now, am I great at it? Am I perfect at it? I could lie to you and say yes, but that's all it would be was a lie. No, I'm still working on myself. But by me saying this, by me repeating this, by me talking about this constantly and posting the video blogs, doing this live stream, it helps remind me because I don't want to be a hypocrite. I'm telling you or asking you to do it for yourself. And truthfully, I want to be my best, right? I don't want to disrespect anybody by not giving my best. So I'm more apt to follow up on it. And that's the whole kind of point of the message is I'm still working on it too, folks. I'm transparent. I'm vulnerable when I do these video blogs and speeches and stuff. And sometimes being that way, people are going to blatantly take advantage of you. It happens. But I know that the majority of people really appreciate my vulnerability and appreciate me sharing these messages, just like I appreciated it from my mentor in order to help. And essentially my goal with society and my mission purpose, if you will, is making society a happier, healthier, and safer place to live by empowering kids, parents, teens, and adults, anyone I can, with hope and self-confidence to believe in themselves, battle through their challenges, overcome their fears, to stand up to any bully they face, both the real bullies that are out there, or the meanest bully we ever faced, the one right here in our mind, or the one we see in the mirror, the one that tells us it's selfish not to take care of, or it's selfish to take care of ourselves, when we know now it's more selfish to not take care of ourselves. So, can you pour from an empty cup? Absolutely not. You know that. And who's the number one priority in your life? Who is it? It's you. You are the number one priority because you need to be at your best in order to be the best parent, to be the best spouse, to be the best leader, to be the healthiest, to be the best you. Yeah. And that's what kicking life is all about. I was talking to somebody earlier today and they're like, man, I love that kicking life thing. But what does that really mean? And you can see it on my there it is. Grogan's bully proof and kicking life. And bully proof is what I mentioned about have that hope and self-confidence to overcome your fears, battle through your challenges, to stand up to any bully you face, both real and in your mind. That's bully proof. Now you got your armor on. Now you can go out and take on the world. Kicking life is that next step, kind of the pinnacle, if you will. And that next step is, man, instead of life kicking your butt, you're kicking life's butt. You're getting back up each and every time life knocked you down. Now, if you listen a lot, I am not the world's all sunshine and rainbows. Rocky says that. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. It's a mean, nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are. It'll beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You mean nobody hits as hard as life. That's true, right? That is true. So I'm not all sunshine and rainbows. We've got hardships. We've got problems. And, America, United States of America, greatest country ever founded. Truly. Now, does that mean we don't have problems? No, we got problems. We got a lot of problems these days. And, some I talk about pretty openly with the way we are abusing, bullying kids now with the messages we're allowing teachers and institutions to plant in their minds. I am so against that. I'm against everybody gets a trophy. I'm against all this gender talk stuff. I mean, some of you may get turned off by that, but I'm telling you, you plant these seeds in this kid's mind, it's warping them. It's not helping them. It's certainly not helping them live their best kick in life. So, but anyway, we'll get onto that another time. My whole focus for this one is the fact you need to be your own number one priority. You need to be your very, very best in order to serve at your best, to be your best, and to live your best kick in life. And that's what kicking life's all about. Getting back up each and every time. But instead of life kicking your butt, you are kicking life's butt, man. And you're living the life that God intended for you to live. Doesn't mean it's easy. Doesn't mean you're not going to have challenges. But it means you're utilizing your one and only unique God-given talents to be who you were born to be. There you go. Well, throw your comments in the chat box. I'd love to see them, and I'll do my best to reply back to each and every one. And as always, thank you so very much for taking time to listen. I know time is the most sacred commodity on the planet. The fact that you took time out of your busy day, out of your busy life to be with me today, that means the world to me. And here's what you can do. If you found value in this message, leave a comment, leave a 5-star review, but most importantly, share this message with someone else that can benefit from this. If you know someone who's struggling, who's someone who thinks it's selfish to take care of themselves, share this message with them. And that's how we'll build our tribe. And when I say happier, healthier, and safer society, what I mean by that is, man, when people are happier and healthier, they're not bullying one another. They're not going around shooting up schools. They're not being rude and disrespectful and mean to one another. No, that's a safer society. That's a healthier society. That's a happier society. And essentially, that's what we want. All right, folks, I love you. God loves you. Please share that love with the world. And until we talk again, you get out there and do your best. And I promise you'll be your very best. You'll become bully proof. Yeah. And you'll live your best kick in life. God bless you. God bless your loved ones. Can't wait to read your comments. Can't wait to chat with you again real soon. Have a blessed day, everybody. Bye-bye.